I don't want to kill anybody. Let me get this straight. I mean, let me be clear. I don't want to murder.
I don't either.
There are many topics and concepts we are all familiar with, but aren't necessarily sure how they work. Each week I present a guest with a surprise topic and ask them to try their best to explain it. This is Explaining Things.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Explaining Things. As always, I have a guest comic with me. Today, my guest is Boston comic Dan Hall.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Johnny.
Return guest, baby. You ready for your topic?
Yeah, what is it?
How does one buy an illegal firearm?
Okay.
Let's just say you needed to murder a neighbor or something. You're like, I don't want this to be traced back to me. I should ask, you don't have an illegal firearm already, do you?
No.
No cheating.
I'm afraid of guns.
How do you start? How do you even go about this?
I feel like you go down to, like, the docks.
The docks.
I guess I'd find someone who sold, like, drugs.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Right? You go to drugs first, and then you're like, hey, where do I get a gun?
So if you just, like, smoke weed,
yeah.
I think you're like, okay, do you know anyone who can get something harder?
Right.
And he's like, I got a friend who dabbles in coke. And
yeah,
then,
you got to
and then you
level
talk
up.
to that guy, and you're like, where do you get your coke from? Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, there's a guy above me. And then you talk to him, and you're like, hey, if I wanted a gun. It's like when Walter White had, like, the guy come in and put, like, guns out on the hotel room bed.
Yeah.
You're like,
that's exactly what I've been thinking
Where
about.
do you get that guy?
Yeah. I'd find a bad cop.
But that's the thing. How do you know he's bad?
I know.
You walk out, you're like, excuse me, are you a bad cop?
Do you know where to get a gun?
He's like, you're going to jail. Like illegal guns, they get shipped in, or then there has to just be someone who has guns who like files serial numbers.
I was just going to say, whose job is it, like, in the operation to be like, fucking Jesus?
You can be a self-starter. You wear a disguise, you go to gun shows.
Yeah.
You get an AR-15, you file it off, and then you sell it for, whatever. You know whoever you're selling this weapon to is doing something criminal with it.
Yeah, why do you need a gun?
Because you're going to kill someone.
You're going to kill someone. If you kill someone, I'm throwing the gun in the ocean, right? Where are you throwing a gun if you murder someone?
Good question.
Yeah.
Whose show is this? I've seen enough like crime shows to where like they send divers out and they always find it.
There are guys on TikTok who like have giant magnets, who like fish with giant magnets at the bottom of the ocean or lakes, and they'll find guns and knives and like jewelry. I swear to God.
I'm like 74 years old. Like murder in my past, I've changed. I'm a new man. I'm bird watching. And they're like, hey, this magnet found your murder weapon.
Yeah. And you do it like quickly and just get rid of the gun and then like leave town.
Yeah.
You might be able to just get away with murder easier than you think.
The problem is, and the reason you're going to get caught is because we have to have way too many people. There are too many holes, There are too many threads leading back to us if we had to do it.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it's easier to find an illegal firearm yourself by all those channels or find a hitman?
I think you're going through similar channels.
You're just not the murderer.
I've never been with a prostitute. I have no doubt I could find a prostitute easier than I could find an illegal firearm. Not that there's anything wrong with prostitution.
Not that there's anything wrong with sex work. Take a guess at what you think a illegal firearm would be worth.
Well, it depends on the gun, obviously. I think if you're going through the legal channels, you can get a standard pistol, nothing like not showing off, for $300.
Right, yeah. I was going to ask, what do you think, like I don't know, legal gun?
I bet a pistol for $200 is not unheard of. But I bet an illegal
one is like $5,000.
Yeah. Well, maybe $1,000. Maybe if he's down on his luck and it's a shitty pistol, $750. But I think you're definitely paying twice the amount.
How you don't just video game the guy where you're like, you want an illegal gun? And then you just shoot him after. Like,
if it's you or me looking for a gun, we have it for a singular purpose.
We need one.
My wife's murderer. He will find justice.
Yeah.
You kill the illegal gun dealer and you're like, oh, I don't like that.
I am in
I did not
deep.
like that. All right, I'm out. I'm growing a mustache. I'm moving to Vermont. So obviously we don't want to kill anyone. But you know what? There are people out there that need to know this information, and this is who we're trying to help right now. I don't want to tell you how to live your life. All right, so what we're saying, go to a drug dealer, go up the chain to a certain point, ask that guy if he knows where to go.
Yep.
He might not. Keep asking.
Or try to find a hitman, which also, probably a different part of town, probably more Italian for some reason, or Russian.
Or steal a friend's gun. But once again, it just comes back to you so easily.
Steal your friend's gun, don't even file it off. Do whatever you need to do with it.
Put it back in the closet. Problem solved. Buddy goes to prison.
Yeah.
You skate free.
Boom.
Bam. I think we figured this out. All right. Dan Hall.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much. Until next time.